Okay, now ready for stream. Setting up the phone. And we should be ready.
Gotta work on those core muscles. Come on, what you got? Let's do this.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges. Weapons restrictions lifted.
Contest, everything should be on, I think. So who I was watching, in case you're wondering, this is Stranding, and it's a pretty weird game in its own way, but I love it. Because most of the time you're just wandering, and it's really well animated. And the characters really reactive to the environment. And there's like this really weird backstory to it, and the concept of the world is like, it's wonderfully weird in some way. Like, it's hard to explain when you first play it, but it's one of those games you can't imagine not having played it. It's it's sort of magical the way.
Footpath.
So our current goal is to deliver the box I'm holding and the box in the backpack. To the Elder, which is one of the NPCs. So also for the Let's Lost packages, which means if you pick this one up, it's like dynamic mission card. You can find it somewhere and you can just. The cool thing is you can also put it like left, right hand, and just carry it like that. I love it when games does that. When a game does that, like this highly granular inventory management system game. Because everything's physicalized. Every box you carry, everything.
Come on, Sammy boy.
Okay, the Elder's up here, which means I have to go this direction. Yeah, there should be a way up here to the hill. Kind of amazing about this game is that it gives it this sense of it's like change the microphone around a bit. It gives it like this sense of desolation. Plus, it's really well animated. But I think that any game that's well animated is fun on its own. Like you don't have to fight like some big monster. Just really good animation system. You're just walking somewhere.
Yeah.
I think generates fun. And this game is living proof of that. And that the like famous game designer like Kojima actually does that. I think that's a pretty amazing thing.
Keep on keeping on.
Now get it done, Sam Porter Bridges.
Yeah, this should be the Elders camp. Yeah, that's it.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure. Cargo verified. Thank you.
I've been expecting you.
Delivering cargo.
Thanks for dropping by again. It's always good to see you. Let's see how's the package. Wow, this is great. Excellent job. Thank you. Here, I have something for you. It isn't much, but if you want it, it's all yours. Until next time.
Good work. New order available.
Okay, here we go. Now, the cool thing about fragile cargo is that you drop it or something, it gets really damaged. So those tiny cargo pieces, it's highly important to not break it.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Looks like a path.
Okay, just go downhill, follow the roads that way. It should be easy enough. That's a favorite part of the game, rappelling down stuff. I should be almost there, I think. Hey, Mark. Have you played Death Stranding before? Just asking so I don't accidentally spoil anything. What's this in-game audio? Can you hear my voice against in-game audio? Should I make it quieter?
Brennan Barrett.
Okay, great.
Beginning scan.
Yeah, I finished it about 5 months ago. Like I only played it 6 months ago because somebody recommended it to me.
All weapons will remain locked until departure.
Yeah, I really like it. It's just that sense of wandering, the loneliness, and how well it's animated. Like the way you can carry things in different hands and all that. I'm just wandering the landscape doing some missions. The thing is, I didn't know anything about it. I only saw a trailer of Daryl from Walking Dead showering naked and some weird baby in a glass and nothing else. Okay, that's all I knew about it. Then I started playing it and I loved it right away in the first mission when the game shows you that you can use your left and right hand to stabilize the backpack. And then I'm really like, okay, I like this game.
Delivering cargo.
Hey Sam, how's it going?
I remember having this one mission where I was like carrying a pizza and you have like to carry it almost across the whole map in one go. And 2 times I was like almost like 100 meters from the delivery point and my character like tripped while holding a pizza in his left hand like under the elbow and he just fell on it, like smashed it. Yeah, I think I saw reviews were sort of mixed of it, but like I think the developer proved that you can take a concept if you well animate basic activity like just walking around. It can be great fun. One thing I wish would have loved more is that you would actually have to use the rope to climb a bit more. Like you don't really have to use the complex climbing mechanism to actually get around the terrain. I think that's a bit too easy. And then when I saw that little hover cart you can attach to like with a leash, that was amazing.
Well, be safe out there.
Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal.
Carry something heavy. See how far I can carry that stuff. I'm not using the power skeletons because, like, I think it's unrealistic if the character abilities get too good. So, like, usually avoid that. Is one floating carrier enough for 900 kilos? I guess second one. Kilo. No, wait. Hang on. Wait, I probably need a second one. I only had one. Don't I have? I should have a second floating carrier. Oh, float. No, I should have 2 floating carriers, don't I? Not carried equipment 1, not carried equipment. Yeah. I need a second one. Oh no, I completed the game, and this on this save, I'm already completed the main story.
Order assigned. Delivery parameters
I haven't
updated.
played it in a few months.
Time
So
limit
it's,
set.
terminal. Like it's such a unique story, like the concept of the Death Stranding. like the wall of the dead basically bleeding into the living world. And I remember for most of the game, I never kill another character because the game teaches you in that cutscene at the beginning you're not supposed to kill. At some point, I actually killed a few of these camp people, and I did nothing about the corpses. So I got a few warnings, I should remove the corpses, I ignored it. And then eventually a void out happened, and the game is over, and the game tells you to reload the previous save. Then I had to carry like 4 corpses to this shore of tar pit and just threw it into the stuff. Like it's so weird, but it works. Like there's a certain weirdness to this concept, but it just functions like that. Hold on a second. Okay, now I should have that stuff going. Okay, now I got. Why do I have 3 carries? Wait, so there's actually a disposal team coming for the corpse if it's near city, because you can also like you don't have to go to the furnace. You can actually go to the tar lakes and just go into the water, throw them in, and then they slowly sink. How many of those things can you actually drag underground? How many carries? Like you can only carry 2 carries, is it? Yeah, that's way too much. Yeah, probably just. Okay, so how do I attach those again? Attach carrier. I'm gonna take the legs. Link carrier thing. I think I got only 2 carriers. Okay, I'll link a third one. Okay, so I have to go to the weather station. Okay. You're gonna walk on foot.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Also set the walking speeds, like when you switch to walking, to the minimum. So it's actually like a slow walk like that, not like this weird jog thing. Yeah, actually. And you know, the inverted rainbow. There's like something so tragic and sad about it. I'm not sure why. Like just having this inverted rainbow shine like that.
This looks like the way to go.
I also read that the second game, I think, it was announced that they're working on it. And I think that the first game sold like 5 million copies, which I think is quite a lot. Not sure if it's like normal for Kojima game or not. There's more expected. That's also the first Kojima game I ever played. I never played Metal Gear Solid or anything. I want to buy me to play a specific game or something. Because my current problem is I like to play these smaller indie games. So the problem with that is you don't really get large audiences from it. Darkwood, is that the top-down game? Horror game, it's like a few years old. I think I saw it somewhere. Okay, weather station's up here. Pink scanner gate. Yeah. That's what I like when you fight these guys. Like there's something primal about it. Like when they spot you and you spot them, it's like two cavemen with their sticks looking at each other. Like it's like there's so many things in this game that could have gone wrong just from the concept, but they got it right. And the music when they spot you when the combat starts. Like, it sounds like some 1970s Western movie almost. Yeah, I think it's kind of fun of some games if like the concept of the game itself is something for you to figure out. I mean, to some degree I did it with Death Stranding. Like I bought it and I completely ignored any preview videos, gameplay. I had literally no idea what it's about. Just some dude carrying boxes or something. That's all I knew about it. Because what they did with the combat with those guys in raincoats, it's actually quite difficult to animate the animations when holding the stick with two hands. Like a few games actually get that right. And when they knock you out, and you hear like when they're carrying you out of the border and just dropping you because they can't kill you. Like it has that weird Western caveman primalness to it. It's beautiful. Like just when they suddenly stop, look at you, and just you see on the horizon just some guy stopping. You can't see his eyes because of the coat and everything, but you can see he's looking at you. Like it's one of those games that when you played it, like you can't imagine not having played it. How good it is. I mean, I've seen Darkwood. It has been in development like many years ago. I saw like a preview of it, and then I think it released at some point. Oh, the rainbow. check the map. And probably follow the road to distribution center, then cross the river and get up to weather station. Remember when I last played the game, I also built some of the roads, but I didn't complete most of them. See, one annoying part of this game is this baby crying in the glass. Oh my god, it's so annoying. And that's like, remember that one part in the game where BB is like out of order and he's like back in the base. And you have like this small amount of time where it's not attached. And I think the developers added it intentionally to annoy people with the crying. Maybe they had some experiences like when they had their first kid or something, and like I think there's some angle of that thing going on.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, now I should actually fork off and get over the roads.
Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges. Weapons restrictions lifted.
Get it done.
I think its main tool is like being a radar for the BT thingies. Also, like when when you use that radar thingy, when it starts rotating and pointing at some enemies, you know that thing extending. And what's really cool is as you get closer to danger, it starts pulsating, like making a pulsating animation, opening up and closing. And eventually it gets so close, it doesn't just increase the animation, it just starts like getting really crazy, starts rotating in different ways. It means the animators had really fun with it. Like as if the device itself starting to panic because the danger is so close. Okay.
Ah, shit. There goes the wire.
Come on.
Let's get a move on.
Don't snap, don't snap. Just follow me. Okay? Just follow me. Yeah, they put someone who's like, woo! There's something unnerving about the game story, like the way the wall of the dead basically creeps into the wall of the living. Like there's something weirdly hopeless, and the sun never setting, and the ink got rainbow. But my favorite part was the rope climbing, but the problem is you almost never have to use it. You just follow that road. Okay, yes. And snap, come on, rope. Come on, keep up. And like just the rope physics of the thing getting attached. Like that's a lot of programming work. Like the ropes, the way they move. Also notice every single latch in the backpack is accounted for. Like what it's holding on to. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, what I would like to see is that they make like climbing a bit more interesting, like a bit more.
Eyes open, dumbass.
That's what he says there. Carrots. Okay, guys, let's go. Come on. Come on, don't snap again. Oh, shit. It's probably stuck, isn't it? So yeah, I think they should like refine it in the sense that like make the terrain a little more dangerous, so you actually have to use some more advanced climbing or rappelling stuff. Because the rappelling animation is absolutely amazing. Attach carrot. Okay, let's try this again. Fucking flipper. Just grab it and kick that. You know, like Guillermo del Toro's character says, like just it's just equipment. Don't get attached to it. Oh, it's raining. You hear that? When the walrus helmet goes on, it has like this. Like it actually sounds like an animal. What do you mean didn't use his voice? Whose voice? Oh, here we go. What was it? Wait, I think it's the other way around. It's actually... But it's his voice. I recognize his voice. Like, I heard him a few times talk. It's his voice. Has to be. It's kind of weird, like, the way they selected the actors. Like, you have Daryl from Walking Dead. And you have Guillermo del Toro, and you have... what's the other guy? Mads Mikkelsen. The other thing is like one of those hunting dogs that shows you where the prey is. For real? Because he 100% sounds like the dog. Amazing, but because like I would bet money it's his voice, but maybe the other guy sounds like him.
Fuck.
You notice how simple and elegant this whole BT gameplay is. It's a monster you can barely see, and you never really see what it looks like, and you can like hide from it by holding your breath. Okay, let me see, where can I cross that place? I think the best way up the ridge is just going straight up here. Like, what I didn't like about this game is like the boss fights with these weird oily creatures. It seems to be a Japanese thing. There's always some oily black tentacle thing somewhere. But then again, I like the fear of the boss fights. It means if the BTs catch you, you have the stupid boss fight you have to run away from. So you actually have to fear something, and I think that makes it more elegant. And if you look at it from some abstract gameplay concept, it's basically you have this monster that you can barely kill, and it's really dangerous, and you can't really see exactly where it is. So it gives you like this sense of fear.
Where are you?
Oh, I didn't know that. Holding your breath against. I guess there's some Japanese mythology being mixed into that. See, my main problem is I forgot to bring any guns. See, I got nothing. But if I get really close to one, I can actually press F to kill
Come
them.
out and play.
Damn it. There's too many of them. No, don't snap, don't snap the rope. You know, I'm so close that it's actually freaking, the thing itself is freaking out. You see that? Just gotta get close. Yes. And if you think of it, it's like some, now that you say it, it's like some weird children's scary game, like for the monster not to see you, you have to hide them by holding your breath. And it's like translated into a complex video game created by a really high-end studio. I also think the ending didn't make much sense to me because, like, the woman in the red dress is like she's like an extinction event, so I didn't completely understand what that was. But the containers probably get completely corroded and. Oh shit. No. Oh, I can't catch me on the ladder, bitches. That's actually the first time I got on the ladder away from them. That's tactical move, isn't it? Oh, you mean Brazil because it's like the crime rate? It's maybe it's like some carjacking in Detroit or something. Like when they drag you out of your car, like oh. I mean, there's many layers to this type of joke, depending how you interpret it. Always reminded me like when they drag you out of your car, it's like a carjacking. I mean, I read Brazil is a pretty dangerous place. Like they have a really high crime rate and all that. And I watched what's it called, the movie? Movie's called Tropa de Elite Squad. Have you seen that movie? Anyway, it's a movie from 2007. It's damn it.
The wire snapped.
Like, have you I assume you have played Rainbow Six Siege, perhaps, if you know that game. Anyway, so you know the character Capital. If you know who Capital is and the whole favela map, that entire situation is basically based on the Tropa de Elite movie. And it would also say Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You know the scenes in Brazil where you chase the guys on rooftops in the favela. That's all inspired by Tropa de Elite movie. It's basically about, it takes place in 1997, and it's like a elite police type SWAT unit that's tasked with chasing some criminals in the slum. And it's an amazing movie. Like, that movie is legendary. It inspired so many other things. And like, you watch the first 5 minutes on YouTube, you can watch like the intro of it. You get hooked like the first 5 minutes on a movie. Basically shows like this elite squad that's also like being pretty brutal themselves, and it basically defined the whole Brazilian slum action movie aesthetic. And with it, the Rainbow Six characters and a map, and even Modern Warfare 2 was inspired by that. Oh, where's that stupid weather station? Oh my god, I'm only halfway there. Yeah, Bope. Hey, drama. They was talking about Tropa de Elite, the movie, and how it inspired different things. And the movie was amazing if you watched it. In case anybody who's watching is wondering, I'm playing Death Stranding. It's a really weird game. It's a beautiful game. There's actually a key in the PC version where you can zoom in further. Is the camera angle fixed depending how much you carry? No. I made it through a storm. Even the music indicates it. Hear that? Uplifting music that usually happens after storms. So basically, how this game, when I first started playing this game, I was like you. I knew nothing about the game. Just a guy carrying packages, and it's like the actor from The Walking Dead. Okay, knew nothing else about it. So I tried to explain what it's about without spoiling much.
Time to shine, Sam.
1 second, I just gotta check something in my menu settings. Key assignments. Zoom in T, compass emoji. So basically, I'm trying to explain it without spoiling it. But the core concept of this game is that bleeding into the wall of the living. Okay, and there's a cutscene very early in the game when you play it that explains the concept. Basically, if a person dies, they have to be brought away very far away from population centers because something basically happens where the corpse gets connected to the wall of the dead and it creates like a huge explosion, or basically creates a crater that completely destroys an entire city and nothing's left except a huge crater. And there's some pockets of people who survive this whole catastrophe, and you're basically one of those guys that carries packages from A to B. And the rain is poisonous, which means if it's raining and you're exposed to the rain, well, you know, as a player, but characters in the game, then they age much faster. And these ghost thingies are basically, I think, things from the Wall of the Dead who will pull you into something when they catch you. And the core gameplay is basically you're traveling, and it's really well animated. The way you can walk, the way you can carry, and the way you can like put stuff on your character. The way you can carry it left hand, right hand, and all that. Okay, I'm gonna show you, like I'm gonna load up some extra cargo.
Thank you for coming. Right on target. Early, if anything.
Yeah, I like it. It's extremely weird, but it functions. Like it could have gone wrong in so many ways, but it just works. And when you actually fight enemy human AI, like not these ghosts but other humans, you're actually not allowed to kill them, because if you kill them, then you have to take care of the corpse by bringing it to very specific places so it can dissolve. And if you don't do that, eventually it triggers a void out, that's the catastrophe, and then you have to reload a new game. So there's actually like corpse carrying gameplay, and that's actually quite funny.
Here's to you, Sam. Don't ever give up.
Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further information.
Okay, let me see where I'm on the map. Also, the cool thing, this map is actually 3D. Check this out. You see that? Oh, that's the... Wait, there's a new spin-off of Walking Dead. Like, I know Walking Dead, the main thing, and I know, what you call it? Fear the Walking Dead. That's the one where they have this different group of people that's in California. Is there another one they're working on? Man, look at this. Probably travel over the mountains for the next package delivery. I mean, I like the actor, and he fits well in this game. Like he's like this gruff guy who doesn't talk much, and he doesn't like to be touched in this game. Like he has fear of being touched by people. Okay, now I'm going to, before I take the next delivery, go over here, and then go back up there. Back. Hey, Mr. Fess. So yeah, basically, I completed the game already, but I haven't played it in a few months. I felt like I just wanted to wander the beautiful world of this game.
Take care.
Rest is advised.
Like, this game is truly special. Like it's such a weird idea, but like they focused on getting quality animations, like the way the character moves and all that. But I'm not sure if they lose hope, but
Safe travels.
this game gives you like a sense of desolation and loneliness, and there's a sense of danger outside of the base. And the cool thing is, Feds, when I started playing this game, I didn't know nothing about it. Like somebody on a Discord recommended it to me. Told me like it's a very physical game, so I should try it. And I'm like, okay, I had no idea what it's about. I just played it, and in the tutorial, like in the first map, when they show you how you can use left hand, right hand to stabilize your backpack, then I was like, okay, I love this game. Yeah, the story is actually quite confusing to explain, Jerome. It's this weird mix that it sort of works, but you don't know why it's working. And if you would somebody explain the game to you before you played it, it would sound very weird. But after you play it, it's a beautiful game. Like it's one of those games you wouldn't have want to miss or something. I think this was Kojima did right. Here's the fun thing. Basically, on the Star Citizen forums, I kept arguing for 3 or 4 years that they should focus on character animations and just making the walking and the physicality of the gameplay more high quality, and then it will automatically be fun. Because my theory was, if you make something highly physical, realistic, then the physics will drag the fun behind it. Because if it's physical, it's fun. And I had no idea Death Stranding actually does that. I had absolutely no idea for 3 years. And then I played it. And it's like this catalog of ideas I posted on the forum. And it's right there in the game. Like, it was ecstatic. I was ecstatic when I played it.
Your work is greatly appreciated.
One of my favorite quests in this game is, you know, when you have to take these things and throw them into the lake, and you have like these little boxes, and you have to like discard them in the lake. And the beautiful thing is, the way throwing works in this game, basically you have to do the melee combat animation, and as your character swings the melee with the box, you press another key to let go of it, and then depending when you let go, that's the direction it's going to fly. And that's just a fantastic minigame, I think. Okay. Also, I recently figured out you can actually color your suit. I thought you have to to unlock a certain suit, but I can actually recolor it. Okay, let's recolor the thing. Should take a nice yellow, brown, or gray. Yeah, I'll take the orange. You have to make it like more like DCS and Star Citizen, where every ship is like this complex machine with different systems and HUD systems and radars you can click buttons on. Then I think it would be a lot of fun. And actually, I still got this resins, okay? Carry by hand, left hand. I think if you press V, it's melee. The thing on the chest, yeah, that's... How do I explain that? That's a really weird thing. Basically, it's a baby in a tank. that acts as a connection to the undead, to the world of the dead in some ways. And you see that thing here that's coming out, that little radar dish that's coming out. That's basically connected to it, and it can detect danger for you. And the baby is extremely annoying because if you face plant or something, it starts crying for a few seconds. And that's one of the most annoying things in this game. Like, you want to grab that fucker and kick it off a fucking cliff or something, just so it stops yelling at you.
Have a pleasant journey.
I want to take a package and go with the mountain, so you can see the amazing snow in this game. And currently you don't see it because it's like behind this Kevlar. Wait, I'm gonna start the camera thingy. See here. And after this one mission, we have to deliver pizza. Yes, I'm not joking. There's actually pizza delivery in this game. And I had to go like across the whole map. Like, the pizza delivery was from somewhere here to here. And about 300 meters before the target, my character tripped while holding the thing like a football and basically squished on the pizza. And then the mission was a failure.
Safe travels.
Basically, these babies in the tanks, they're basically considered equipment that help you survive against certain dangers in this game.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID.
And those things are basically placed by other players, like to cheer you up or
All weapons will remain locked.
like
until
help
the
you
parcher. All
travel with
craft
certain
is
things.
advised. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Also, is my audio against the game volume, is it too noisy or is it okay? Take on orders, standard orders. I want to carry something across the mountains. $60 kilos, yeah, I'll do that. Take some container repair spray. Still got enough boots. I want to use the bot. I want to climb. There's actual bots you can use in this game to carry things for you, and you can even hop on the bot and let the bot carry you around. Hey, I don't want the body bot, leave me alone. Now you can select where you want to carry it. You want to carry it on the thing, you want to carry it by hand. Just put it on the ground. But it's like 60 kilos, so. You mean the robot is a gimmick? I'm not sure why it's about on foot. You can also get a car. They're like cars and motorcycles, but the driving physics aren't really that good. But there's currently no aircraft you can use. Yeah, it might be a gimmick, but I think it's extremely well animated. Like the way your character hops on the robot, the way it bobs as you travel with it, I think. Like they put a lot of effort into it. I carry 64 kilos in the back, yeah, I'll do that. Hang on, tool rack. Okay. Notice the animation where it actually has to carry something heavy.
Order assigned.
It's kind of thing about this game. It does like these primitive sounding things, like a robot that carries you, or you can just attach a robot like a leash. But the animation programming you have to do for that, it's crazy amount of it. The character actually starts. Look. Wait, I'll try to get rid of some stuff. Offload. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the carriers too. Floating carrier too. Just carrying the necessities. Now it looks more like a normal person wearing it. I'll probably go with this mountain pass up here. I built some of the roads, but they never completed it so far.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Probably get over that ridge over there.
Keep on keeping on.
And also like the story about, what do you call it? Is his name Hartman or something? By the way, have you seen the news on Shadows of Doubt? Well, this developer said he's going to take a break for a few weeks to rest and relax a bit. Now I think it's a bit problematic because I calculated the sales numbers. It's about 100, 140 types of copies is estimated. Okay, now that means if you sell a copy for like about 17, 20 bucks, you're talking about 1.5 million revenue. Okay. Which means that guy doesn't have to pay the rent for the next 10 years if he's living at $5,000 a month or something, which is not really modern. Just as a calculation, okay? So that means that's an indie developer who just made a large amount of money. And usually what happens with indie developers, the moment they make money, their desire to work hard on the product takes a nosedive. And my prediction is they're going to spend the next few weeks doing nothing and then doing some small patches, staying there, fixing stuff, blah, 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 blah. But yeah. So I'm not saying the developer is doing that, but from my previous experience with indie game development, if they make a larger pile of money at the beginning, it's the moment the money is there, they take motivation to work hard takes a nosedive. And it's a bit problematic for this game because they have to come up with something to keep it interesting for experienced players. Because you probably seen it when I was playing, when other people play, is that once the game gets predictable, it's really hard to play. So my prediction is the next 2 weeks, I think there's going to be a crash in the player numbers because currently it's a bit too predictable. But I guess we'll see what happens the next few weeks. It just sounds really familiar, like, oh, taking a rest and then walking on it, and like, okay. See, oh, it's starting to snow, look at this. Hey Titan, what I meant is that developer just said some news that he's going to take a break for a few weeks. Now, in my previous experience with indie stuff is that when a game developer makes a lot of money right after release, there's an instant sharp drop in motivation to keep working hard. Like you've seen this, maybe you've played Sons of the Forest. Had a really great start.
Okay.
It had like 400,000 concurrent players in the first week. That's just the players, it's not the sales. They probably sold millions of copies. Because the initial gameplay feature was really strong with building building your hut and with wood and all that. But after that, most patches were complete shit. Like tiny patches with almost nothing in them. And that might happen to Shadows of Doubt 2, I think. Because that's the problem with all indie development. The moment they make money, it's like they get really conservative with putting effort in, I would say. Or like really stingy. Well, it might not be the case, but I think I'm worried because if they don't do something against the current predictable gameplay, then there's going to be a sharp drop in player numbers. Actually, let me check the Steam database site. Like you won't see it on my screen. It's just I'm looking it up on Tablet. Okay, the current player numbers on Steam database are stable. It's currently peaking at about 1,800 people, and it's dropping down at 600. So it's like a gradual drop only. Yeah, I think the core issues are basically that, like, I think what they want to do is do their pre-planned roadmap thing, like with cheats and liars, what is it called? But I don't think it's going to be enough, because if all the killers are set up with that stupid signature move, like circle on the ground or workplace business card, it can never be interesting, because if it's a workplace killer, you always just have to check the workplace and get the prints and it's all. But we'll see what happens. My prediction is if it remains like this for a few weeks, the player numbers will crash down, because eventually most players will get to the point where they can just figure out how the game works. Have you played Death Stranding, Titan? Oh, way up close. What do you mean, Freds? Like by wild stuff, you mean like wildly changing how the game works, or what do you mean? Yeah, I didn't like the sequences with the trench combat. That was boring as fuck. Like late in the game, I basically lowered the difficulty just to jump through the trench stuff. And basically, all the cutscenes with Mads Mikkelsen are basically Mads Mikkelsen's upper lip in close up into the camera. But yeah, I never played this game before when it released. I only played it like half a year ago for the first time. So I got the director's cut edition right away. So I don't know what the difference is between the main game. Also, why is my suit gray? It's supposed to be orange. Why is it gray? But yeah, why is my suit gray? Wait, oh, do you mean Monster Energy? Wait, is that the drink somewhere in the game? Because I read somebody was complaining about it being like product placed in the game, but I actually don't remember it anyway. Yeah, I think developers don't actually have to do much. What they should do is remove that whole signature killer thing, so you don't get advertised when you step into the crime scene. Okay, it's a workplace killer. You have to go to the workplace. It should be, like in the video I explained, it should be like this cloud of possible leads that you just sift through. And the more time you spend actually investigating the place, the more possible leads you get. So you get rewarded for being the detective. Because currently you go in and you know if it's a workplace killer, you only have to ever touch the business card, nothing else. Oh, so that's why I didn't notice anything about the drink. Like I recently, like 2 days ago, read something about the drink being like annoying in the game. And I was like, wait, I don't remember the drink at all. See, I don't mind product placement if it's correctly built into the game. It's actual 3D models. Like what I don't like if it's like some weird ad on the screen that just appears out of nothing. That would be really annoying. Also, my thinking is that the Shadows of Doubt developer underestimated how quickly players would eat their way through the game. So his plan was to probably slightly add new content over a few patches, and then slowly stop developing, because he probably right now is a millionaire and he can probably stop working right now and for the next 10 years live off 5,000 a month if he wanted to. That's my basic calculation. I think I drank some Monster Energy, but it was a bit too sour. Like, I'm used to Red Bull sometimes, but... This is what I love about this game. It's just this beautifully animated traversing of landscape. Could have also made this like some type of caveman game where you just travel from A to B as a caveman. You design your pelts that you hunt from animals and all that. I'm kind of worried about Shadows of Doubt because I think it's a very solid game, but currently I'm finding it hard to play because 10-20% of the cases are interesting enough. The other 80% are like, okay, you know exactly what to do in 5 minutes. Oh yeah, I played that Far Cry Primal and I was disappointed by it. Because it just felt like normal Far Cry with bows and arrows, and the characters were really overacting the scene like too much, like it was a comedy. And like this game would be an amazing caveman game, like just traveling through snow, swamps, dressing up with different furs and all that. That would just be beautiful. Wait, there's a peach taste Red Bull. I had no idea that existed. So yeah, my guess is the developer of Shadows of Doubt will at first try to ignore player feedback, hoping the current roadmap will keep players interesting. But I think players' numbers will crash, and then he will probably try to figure something out to fix it. There's something, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, is that there's something primal in this game when you fight human NPCs. Like, when they spot you, and you see like them walking around their coats and holding their spears, and they look at you like from a distance. And you get that feeling like you're a caveman looking another caveman in the eyes from a distance. And the music is like this 1970s action music. It's beautiful. See how far I'm here. Yeah, just gotta make it over that snow pass, and I probably missed this area where I should have walked it. Like for me, playing Shadows of Doubt was like a sharp drop. I was super excited with it. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, I need something more exciting. Like I want to play, but it's currently it's a bit too primitive the way it's set up. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, Fats. If he likes that signature killer too much. He probably watched like classic killer movies and series like Dexter or something else. We have this theatrical movie effect of the killer with the huge message on on the wall, written in blood. Now that concept can be fun, but it's too easy to catch him because of it, the way it's set up. Like it could be a serial killer that paints on the wall, but he should be harder to find than just rattling through a government database or something. Yeah, I think apartments it's more like some type of world-building creature, so you can do something else than just chasing criminals or something. Yeah, it's basically in the predictability, I think. The only question is, will a developer figure out on his own that he has to do more than just tweaking it tiny bits? Or will there be a large crash of player base before he does that? Because it's convenient for developer to switch into tweaking mode, because he's sitting on 1 million. Okay, so if he was a programmer working a day job every day now he is sitting on at least 1 million just for himself, if we remove all the taxes. Which means he can just walk away, add some tiny bitty patches. And that's how indie developers often work. Like, they have one in great initial release, and then they have these tiny patches they make look like they're working on it for years. Like, tiny fixes here and there, and then they say, oh, we do a new patch, which is more about fixing bugs, and that's usually a signal of, okay, we're shutting down, we're just making it look like different. But I think that's the classic problem of early access games. You pay for promise up front, and you never get the promise. You always get a watered down version of it. And the only solution is if all the players would resist the urge to put money into something early because of a promise. I mean, he's probably gonna hit the wall, but he has like $1 million lying around. So he's gonna be comfortable hitting a padded wall like that. Oh, LA Noire, that was beautiful, this game. Oh, that was amazing. I remember playing it back then. I mean, it was made by Rockstar Games with Smarter Studio, and like they put real quality into everything. Like it had that police thinking. I mean, I like to watch a lot of police cop shows, so Shadows of Doubt was instantly playing. I mean, there's some of that in the first Witcher game. I'm not sure if you guys played Witcher, the first Witcher game, way back. In the first act, like, there's this beautiful thing in Witcher. You make decisions, but you don't get, like, advertised what the correct decision is before you make it sometimes. Or you get, what do you call it? Misled. So in the first act of the first Witcher game, you basically, where was I? Nah, I lost my train of thought, damn it. Oh yeah, Witcher, exactly. So, anyway, in The Witcher there was like this town guard you can help, guarding the gates, okay? And you help him because you think he's a good guy, and later, 2 acts later in the game, you figure out, oh, he's actually a rapist. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I mean, if he's a game developer and he's like suddenly making $1 million, I mean, I would probably not start drinking if I suddenly had like a pile of money like that. I would probably, yeah, get a nice car first. He looks tired, look at this. Also, you notice you can sometimes like sit on the ground to rest. And if you actually do that in a snowy landscape, your character falls asleep sometimes, and then he actually dies and you have to respawn. Because if you fall asleep in cold temperatures, hypothermia and all that. This kind of thing in Shadows of Doubt, they could procedurally like restructure the game to give you twists. like I mentioned in my video, you create 5 different possible types of leads, like characters that visit the apartment, like 5 different sets of prints. Then perhaps what would be the other thing is different invoices, bank statements that all might lead to certain other people, like bank statements. Okay, maybe the person's in debt. Maybe a loan shark knows something. Maybe it's not the loan shark, it's a killer, but maybe an associate of the loan shark. So you have like this web of possibilities that you are too big to like do in a day or something of playing. So you have to like further investigate and then narrow it down. Because currently it's like this really dumb signature killer thing. Then you could mix in intentional false leads, like because what I worry about is on the roadmap it says cheats and liars. Okay, now what I really worry about if it's just going to be some dumb thing where you ask an NPC whether they saw something suspicious and they intentionally tell you the wrong thing, which would be an upgrade to what we have right now, but I think it should go deeper than that. Also in Death Stranding, if you actually spend a lot of time in the snow and you go back into the sleeping room, you can actually see on the fingers like they're completely black from frostbite. Yeah, that's what I noticed with emails too. Is at the beginning, you're like, okay, what possible lead can I get from an email? But then you notice, okay, it's too transparent. Just down here, then around the ridge, or this way. My guess is that the developer might be finished with the game. They made his money and he's just going to add some tiny tweaks. So yeah, it's probably the wall that's going to hit him. Because it's one of those games I got really excited for. I played it for a week, like super excited. Then there was this instant drop, like, okay, this is too predictable. I couldn't play it anymore. And now today I'm seeing the message, yeah, I'm gonna take a break for 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, see how that's gonna work out. And it's usually a bad sign in the game if you have to start playing it intentionally in some harder way just to get some fun. Because a game that's a bit too hard is always more fun than something that's a bit too easy. What you also could do is like have NPCs visit each other. Like you have NPCs moving to another person's house, sitting around on the couch, talking, something like that. Because the game already supports that, I think. Because you already see some NPCs like talking to each other in the street. Is there actually any interesting game coming out this week or maybe next week?
Drink something, dumbass.
Like the next big hit in terms of gaming that I expect is Starfield. Yeah, I think it would be a huge thing if they could have like more forensics gameplay. Like I mentioned with the fingerprint, weapons analysis, maybe like checking the corpse or something. But I think the pull for the developer to just run off right now is too big. See those characters, they're actually... See how they're walking with the stick? That's actually quite difficult to animate to make look good. Look at it. That's what I love about this game. They do all the difficult things other studios would avoid because of the animation work. Out of breath. Have you guys played Days Gone? Oh, I loved it. I played the thing in 2021. It's basically a zombie game where you're like a biker in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies. And it's beautiful. Like the gameplay gets repetitive slightly, but the story and the motion capture, the face acting, and just the way the acting is written and acted, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Like in some situations you can see a character acting out jealousy and frustration without actually saying a word. Just the way the body language of the character is. It's like absolutely fantastic.
Fuck this.
Like Days Gone, the story was so gripping for me. It's better than any GTA or other game I've played so far. Like in the last few years, in terms of story, it was just... I was happy I played it. I didn't actually expect much. It was like some weird biker game with zombies. I'm like, okay, let's try it. And some characters basically talk to each other by like they have a scene where they talk to a third character and they notice something's wrong, so they look at each other and make like facial gestures and with their eyes to communicate something else. And it's like so subtly written. It's beautiful. And Sony made the game, and they never made a sequel. They eventually planned one, but it didn't get good reviews or something, because probably some idiot reviewer didn't like something. And I think this game also got some really mixed reviews by some magazines. I'm thinking like, those idiots, they don't see the innovation in this game. So I played the old Jak. I played the very first one, I played the second one a lot. You know, with the 113 mod, much if you play Jak 2 with the 113 mod. That's amazing. I even remember the old UFO Defense, XCOM, the very first game in the early 90s. That game was magical. I remember it wasn't like IGN, it was a PC Gamer that gave Alien Isolation a bad rating. I'm like, that journalist needs to just leave the fucking job. Like, if you hate on Alien Isolation, oh my god. Like, people might have some problems with it, but it's just the sheer quality, the way it's assembled. You gotta play Jak 2 with the 113 mod, because it expands the inventory system and the weapons and all that. But I'm slightly worried about the third game, because it looks like some generic action adventure that misses the point of the second game, like highly customizable weapon systems and all that. Because my guess is that the third part might be some weird action adventure like XCOM 2, where you basically upgrade your characters with weird stuff. I think Isolation probably is a single-player game, so it probably doesn't get the revenue from larger games. But Isolation was the best Alien game ever, because it gives you the sense from the first two Alien movies where you're sort of powerless against this monster trying to chase you. Also, why is my suit orange again? It was blue earlier. Why is it changing color for that? The thing is, Alien Isolation, when I played it, I knew nothing about it. Just bought it on release. And my god, I played it on hardest difficulty right away, so... that game was... Yeah, it's the AI was like...
Way through.
It wasn't, what do you call it? It wasn't predictable. Like, sometimes it would catch you hiding on a tail, sometimes it wouldn't, and like the way it would try to intercept you, by hiding in a vent above you or something. Like, it's one of those games you don't want to play again because of how terrifying the experience was. And I think the key ingredient was that you actually have to get to the next checkpoint to save the progress. So you couldn't just, like in Dead Island or Dying Light, where your character dies, and it doesn't really matter because you keep the points or whatever you assembled. Like, you physically have to make it to the next save point to keep what you progressed. And what made it more terrifying is that the save animation was in real time, which means as you stick the card in to save, the alien can grab you or attack you while it happens.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure.
I had this one situation where I was basically like sticking my card in and I heard the vent behind me drop open and the alien like dropping out, but moving in another direction, so I got lucky. It's like the most terrifying thing in this game. When you hear it thumping, like thump, 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 then you hear hiss, and then you hear thump, 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 and it goes louder and it comes closer. You know, like it spotted you, okay? Yeah, Isolation was special. I like it. And the way the music would dynamically ramp up. Remember that, wasn't it the early game when you like wait for the tram the first time, and the alien comes to look for you as you're waiting for the tram, and the music would like ramp up as I'm hiding behind the pillar, and it would like ramp louder and louder the closer.
Replacement is advised. Have a pleasant journey.
Okay.
Remember in one scene in the game, it was like hiding under a table, and I made it to the next table. It was like 10 meters, and it felt like such an achievement. And the worst part is, as you played it, in some areas of the game, it was like
Someone's happy.
the alien wasn't like visible for 20 minutes. And I wasn't sure if it was just scripted like that or if it was just so sneaky it didn't notice. So I took out the wrench and hit the wall. And of course it came looking for me then. So it felt like the sense of relief when it would just leave you alone. I mean, that's the point of horror games. They make you feel powerless and you have to hide from a monster. I mean, the twist was that it's not alone in the base. Like, late in the game, we notice, oh, it's not the only one. Like, oh, shit. Just the architecture of the, what was it? The medical areas that looked like the Nostromo from the first one.
Hey, Sam. Welcome back. Tough journey as always, I bet. Wow, you really took great care of everything. I mean, honestly, you'd be hard-pressed to call this anything less than perfect.
I'd also like the scene where in the scenes where you're out in space, where you hear nothing. You just hear the breathing in your suit and the thumping sounds of when you're touching stuff. That was just like, that's one of those games you don't get that often, which is rather tragic because they should have made a sequel out of that. You mentioned earlier strategy game. I think there's a new one coming out. What's it called? Alien. Where you have like this small team of people you're moving around. What I didn't like was the, what do you call it? The game that came out last year. What was it? Aliens Fireteam, because it felt like Fortnite with aliens rushing you. Like even the character animations of holding the gun like to the right side, it looked like Fortnite. I think they also said it's going to have some type of permadeath. So if you lose your squad mates, they're gone and stuff like that. I hope it's going to be like some type of realism in it. Like I mentioned earlier, my concern with the new Jag game. Like, so it's more about the ammo in your gun, the gear that you carry, and less about, okay, you unlocked level 2 character, now you can throw grenades every 3 turns or some bullshit like that. Wait, what do you mean flossing aliens? What?
We're going to get through this because of you. Thank you, Sam.
Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further.
Let me character into the bunker and see if I can upgrade the gear.
Your work is greatly appreciated.
Oh, I don't know that dance. I played Fortnite for like 10 minutes because a friend asked me to try it, but nah, not really a fan of it. Like those are these, I call them microtransaction sinkholes. Those are basically games that are designed about having an existing gameplay that you barely upgrade over years, and you just keep injecting new microtransactions into it. I think Counter-Strike Source or Counter-Strike or Dota, those are examples of it. Like you have the same gameplay over and over. And notice the fingers are basically black because he was in the snow all the time. See that? Also, wait, the tattoo is actually Norman Reedus' tattoo, is it? Wait, what? If you look at the crotch, he's like... Yeah, no, he does that. Yeah, that's actually his tattoo. Like, I saw it in The Walking Dead. He has it on his hand. I think. Oh, man. Yeah, I want to change the suit color again. Yeah, the problem with games as a service is that basically you keep the gameplay the same, so you don't have to innovate with new gameplay or new games, and you just swap out the microtransactions. And Fortnite was kind of doing it smartly. Not the way I like it, but smart in a business sense. Because they have licenses to attach it to current pop culture trends, which means you have a new action Marvel movie, Star Wars, whatever, and you can implement it in the game. So people who play your game can put a skin of the character in the game. The problem is you don't get much innovation from large studios anymore because they all try these sinkhole games. I mean, yeah, I never played any Metal Gear Solid game. I just saw like in the 90s some of my friends' PlayStations, like some cutscenes from some game, but I never played them myself. That's kind of the problem with large game studios. It's like steering an oil tanker. If you have a good idea that doesn't work out, you waste a lot of money. But the thing is, Hideo Kojima, he's actually really good. Like, if you look at the concept of this game, you just walk around and carry packages. Now, people might say, oh, that's too time-synced, that's too mundane, too boring or something. I see it differently. I see like, okay, if you have well-animated cargo carrying left hand, right hand, I think that's really interactive gameplay. Yeah, I never played that. I think that Rocket Car, whatever game, Rocket League. Never played that. Like, I'm not into football at all, so it wasn't interesting to me. But Counter-Strike, I think, is a unique spot. Here's a fun fact. I was one of the first people on the planet to ever play Counter-Strike. Like, I was probably one of the first 30, 40 people ever played it. Because back in '99, I downloaded it like 5 minutes after release, and there was like two servers on it only. That's actually a true story. Like, that was literally on the first 5 minutes when the game ever released. I was there and played it. And it was a CS Mansion. You probably heard the map name. And the buy menu was kind of bogged and had like this Glock with 3-shot fire mode. Oh my god.
Beginning scan. Footwear
Yeah, I also like that it's highly physical. Oh wait, I should actually take a mission. It's all highly physical, the way you interact with the cargo. Like, it's the low-level gameplay implementation of the high-level idea. Like, the animation system is extremely smooth, like the way the character moves, like that. And I even set the walking mode down to the slowest possible, because there's a setting you can use here in gameplay settings to see how fast your character moves. It's some setting, I forgot what it is actually. Is it here? Controls. It's one of those settings where your walking speed you can like lower it like smoothly and basically have it to the slowest, so you can like really slowly enjoy the way you walk. Yeah, Counter-Strike was special back then. Like the first few months, I think the second beta, like 2 months after it released, they released the AK, then eventually the P90 and all that. How would you define high and low level? The way I would define it is you have a high level concept that's like the top-down view of the game, like you wander around the landscape. And the lower you go, okay, how do you move the character? The way the animation system works, how does it work when you pick up a box with the left and right hand, put it in a backpack, and all those systems. And my theory is that if you get the low-level systems highly physical, then the top-level thing will be fun, because if you make it physical and realistic, there's something inherent about physicality that makes it fun. Like if you have a nice car driving game, the better you make the driving physics, the more engaging the experience is. It's the same for flight simulators, and with this game for walking, basically. I played with mouse and keyboard. I never use controllers. Oh, fresh pizza delivery. Oh, Porter engine. Oh, let's carry a dude. Yeah, that should be fun. Basically, the more physicalized the gameplay experience, there's something inherently fun about. And I had arguments in the Star Citizen forums all the time, where I asked for certain systems to be more realistic. Because in Star Citizen, you have the problem that players, most gameplay loops are really hollow, so you got no gameplay except getting to the point where you get the mission reward, like credits. My argument is, if the gameplay between the endpoints of the mission isn't physical and fun, then eventually you run out of fun because you chase just the endpoint. Hey, where's that guy? Wait, where's the target actually? Wait, did I not accept the mission? What the hell? Wait, he's over there, is he? Yeah, just have to walk up the hill and that's it.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Oh, have you played Project Zomboid? Hang on, I'm just gonna tab out, see what Cataclysm is. 1 second. I think I heard the name somewhere. Oh, it's some open source roguelike. Oh, looks interesting. The thing about Project Zomboid, it gives you that low-level day-to-day activities that smoothly blend into zombie experience. So, for example, you can play it like just surviving house to house, looting houses, fighting zombies, barricading, or you could decide to move to the next village or next town. So you like wander along the road, and when it gets dark or cold, you might actually want to sleep inside because you have a door between you and outside. So if a zombie comes scratching, you have the door to block it for a moment, for some time. So you have this smooth blend from one gameplay activity to the other. Like it's getting dark, you're slightly tired, and there's like a shack with 10 zombies. Okay, you think like, can I take them? Then you take them out, you go inside, you make a fire in the camping place so they don't freeze to death. You find some food on the cupboard. You know, like these little things, and you barricade the door. And the game gets more fun the more you play it on the same save, because if your character dies, you can play on the same save, which means the game world keeps continuing, and the places you visit often, they slowly get looted and looted by you, so there's less stuff to get, and the world slowly grows over with plants and all that. So it's actually quite a fun game. Like they could do better with graphics and all that, but it's currently the only real-time zombie realism game that's currently there. What's a CDDA? Yeah, I remember there's like one of those scenarios where you start like in a burning house, but I just played normal character start. And I had this one save where it's like 8 months into the game. I had like 15 dead characters in this one. And basically I built myself these little bases where where I built like slightly fortified houses. So if the zombies are around, I can sneak over a wall and try sleeping in it. And so you plan your way to get from city to city. And in some areas I didn't know where a certain country road led, so I kept exploring it. And I had this amazing adventure of like having to improvise, sleeping in the forest, sleeping in a barn at night, almost freezing to death, all of that.
Okay, just a bit further now.
And I also buried my old characters when I found them and I turned zombie and I killed them. Basically made a grave for them and put their backpack and clothing items next to the grave. So you come back to another place, you see like a grave two characters had earlier. So that you put some meaning behind the world as you play. And I had this like I know in the far west there's some type of military base. And I don't know exactly where it is because I don't check the online maps where it is, because you preserve the fun for that by finding it yourself. And anyway, so I lost 3 characters already trying to find a military base. Because it's like some dense forest, and it's like, unlike other forests in the game, it gets more zombies. And if you're sneaking around in the forest, you have like 2 tiles in front of you, visibility. Zombie comes in, grabs you, hits you in the arm, you're dead, okay? So I built like base camps in that forest. The deeper I go into the forest, I built a little base camp, like a little tent, a bit of wall. I left some water, so when it rains, it rains into a pot, so I can drink the rainwater.
Nice.
And every character I tried to get to that forest died so far because he got tired or some other thing. And this other character had like this beautiful car, I fixed it up. I was driving around the city like I owned the place, like it was beautiful. Anyway, I hit the tree, but I was not being careful. and the tire blew out. And then I had this adventure trying to fix a tire, and she got eaten in a city somewhere. And then later, a few months later, I come to that city, and I find that character as a zombie wandering around with the exact same gear she had on her when I lost her. Yeah, I on purpose basically avoid the whole like looking at an online map to find the best loot, because just following a certain road in Zomboid, not knowing where it might lead you, that can give you endless adventures. And the good thing about Zomboid is like you have to like manage your stamina and your tiredness, which means if you wander the whole day and you have to fight like 20 zombies with a crowbar, you get so tired you can't find them anymore efficiently. So you basically get chased out of a city, and they need to create backup points. Like you need to find an area that's relatively empty where you can sleep. And I had this story of, I'm not sure if you played I always start in Muldrow, in the most boring city, and I had like this motel, like a hotel with like a horseshoe layout, and I started fortifying it. Almost had it completely walled up, and then like a huge horde just started walking through it, like 150 of them or something, like a gigantic horde. And I had to retreat from the place. Never came back because it was just too many zombies to fight. The Muldrow is just basically trailer parks, and basically I start always in Muldrow because so there's always something to look forward to. So every time I start in Muldrow, I look forward to getting to Louisville, the biggest city in the game. Because if you always start in the greatest city, then you don't have something to look forward to go to.
Fuck this.
And I found like this logging city area west of Muldrow, like it's almost in running distance. And then almost starved to death. And yeah, then I had a character who was really good at scavenging, so basically ate some little leaves that I found on the ground and all that. Like, Zomboid is a really good game if you play it right, like if you really set up the gameplay with that. One thing I would like to see in Muldrow is that... Wait a minute. Oh, I just accidentally walked around the place, didn't I? Is that they should implement proper fast zombies. There currently is an option for fast zombies, but they just have fast animations and they basically zoom back to you and snap you and you're dead. There should be like some intermediate gameplay when they rush you, so you can like hit them with the elbow so they stumble or something. I think Rosewood is one of the southern cities. I've been there one time. It's sometimes just the decision making, like you're walking through an area and you see like a small farmhouse and you're thinking like to yourself, should I hole up in there for the night or should I not? Or like just finding a safe place to sleep for the night. Or sleeping in a car when it's raining outside, that's beautiful. Okay, where's that guy? This guy has to be somewhere in this area. Oh yeah, that's totally true. Like most of my characters, like when you play as a newbie, I think the most mistake you make is you go into a city, you start fighting, you attract more zombies than you can kill, then you get chased out, you can't fight anymore, and you get bitten while you sleep in the forest next to the city. That's usually how it works for newbie players, I think. Now, experienced players, we always get hit when we think we're safe, it's just another zombie, and you misclick or something goes wrong and you get bit in the arm, and you get really pissed off, so you alt F4. And then later you come back and playing. There's always that one single zombie, or once I had like a super amazing character. It was still winter, I was walking through forest, I had super amazing gear, was super hyped up for this character. Anyway, I'm stupid. I'm opening a map between the trees just to check where I was on the map. Zombie comes into the tree, bites in the forearm. Because I opened the fucking map in the dense forest like that. It's kind of thing. It's every single zombie you fight is always dangerous. It's like you never level out against something. You can mitigate it. You can like get a leather jacket and reinforce your like thick clothing can help you against it. You know how many times I got saved by wearing thick clothing because it was stupid? I think that's the magic of this game. Like you fear every single zombie.
There we go.
Like, and as I said, most characters later you lose from one dumb mistake because you thought you were safe. It's never like when you like try to engage a horde with molotovs and guns when you're prepared for huge danger. Usually it works for me, but it's usually that single zombie I don't take really seriously that gets me. Okay, so where's that guy? I mean, there's gotta be somewhere here. Also explored making some videos on Zomboid, but I got like only 50, 60 views on that, so that was quite discouraging.
Nice.
This guy has to be somewhere here. Oh, we got a stomp coming. Where's this guy? Ah, found it.
Sam, have you found our friend yet? We need... Nice and easy. Don't want to take a spill on the way back.
Yeah, it's late for me too, but I'll probably still play a few minutes before I go. City is down there. Okay, we'll have to go this way. Yeah, I think that most of those games deplayed at some point, but they still make money from the business in the meantime. But I think a lot of these games also fail. Like there's a lot of attempts at these free-to-play games that completely fail. Yeah, my next big hope for gaming is Starfields. Not sure what else might be coming. But that's like the next thing I'm waiting for is Starfield. But I'm equally worried and equally excited about it. See, that's what I like about realistic games, where you don't have like a leveling system, where it's like up to you as your skill as a player, how do you survive. It's kind of thing, developers will go where the money is, and if there's a lot of mass market products, like for example PUBG, I think PUBG is extremely badly made. It has a great concept, but the quality is just so bad. Like the only quality they have is in the character skins.
Fuck.
And that's what I like about Death Stranding, or hopefully Death Stranding too, that you have a high-profile game developer like that trying something weird and experimental, and it actually works out. Because Kojima is one of these, I think, artist types that's like, he wants to build himself a monument to be legendary as a game developer. He's probably not into that whole gigantic multiplayer cash cow thing. See, I never played League of Legends, but I think it's like similar to Dota, and like almost identical in some way. I think. Like I never played it.
Hey,
Also, I
you
found
okay?
Dota really weird. It's like this weird Warcraft 3 mod that everybody suddenly started playing, and doesn't make any sense to me. Like I was like when I play Dota, I like to play the Broodmother, you know, that spider, okay? And nobody except me played that thing. And eventually, after some time, I stopped playing and I started playing again. And the spider used to have that cloaking when she was in her own web. She would like be cloaked. And eventually, they patched that out, so it wasn't cloaked anymore. So I started playing, had no idea that the cloaking was gone. And I keep getting eaten, and the whole team got angry at me. Yeah, Dota is this weird accident, you know, that just weirdly happened out of a mod that doesn't make any sense, and everybody likes it. I mean, in the end, the game developer will give the market what it wants. And it's up to the players to buy the more interesting products if they want it. That's kind of the problem with Alien Isolation. It would have probably gotten more sequel if they would have sold more units of it. But hey, the developer, Creative Assembly, all they did after that was some stupid Total War games all the time. And they mixed it with Warhammer. I hate it. Like, people might not agree with me, but I hate the Warhammer universe. I don't like it. It's stupid. I hate it. I like the original Total War games, like historic, like Rome, you know, like some relatable scenario. And then they mixed it basically with Warhammer and stopped making Alien Isolation games after one game. So for me, that's like a tragedy, I think. Like imagine having not Alien Isolation instead of Total War Warhammer. Beautiful of that.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges. Safe travels.
And here's the next problem. The indie developers, they can try the crazy stuff the big developers don't do. However, indie developers run away from any work the moment they get paid. See, that's, you kinda can't win with either side.
Footwear condition poor. Replacement is advised. Have a pleasant journey.
And in the middle, there's sometimes these people like Kojima who create some weird stuff, but it's also high quality. Like,
Sorry, I'll try to make this quick.
those are unique people who do that. And I really hope Starfield isn't gonna screw it up. I really hope that. Because if Starfield is screwed up, then there's not a game that I can look forward to like that. I mean, I like the original Total War. That was actually really fun. Like the Rome, Shogun, medieval. I never played the Napoleon one. I haven't played that one at all. I actually made that joke for the Star Citizen forums. Like I told them, what they should do is to they should take the lead designers and lock them into a room for like a weekend and put like a broom handle like on the door so they can't open it. Okay. Then you put a VHS recorder and VHS tapes with the first 2 Alien movies in, and they have to watch it. And after that, they're allowed to leave. Oh, I get body butt collars. Oh, Doom was special back then. Also, I think John Carmack sort of lost his way. Like he's like this legendary programmer. But all they did was these Quake and Doom games, which I think are nice. But they never got out of the early 90s. Like, for example, I played the Doom game, the remake, or not the remake, like the new game from 2016. I think it was fun, but it was like this classic Doom gameplay. You kill the monsters, you go to the next level. Like, you don't get the Dead Space experience, like where you like interact with NPCs and all that. But what I would do in game development is like take a really simple concept, like this game, walking, and put really high quality into the animation system. I actually don't know what they're doing. Like, I didn't follow much, but I also played his what you call these other games, 2 games they made, Rage. But they were sort of boring. Like, I got Rage 2 for free on Epic, and the first game I bought like way back. But like, it seemed like weirdly segmented in a sense that you basically have these safe zones, then you go fight enemies, and you get like the upgrades from the box, and then you go to the next place. It's a bit like Borderlands. Like, I like these more granular experiences, like this game, or like Fallout, Skyrim, hopefully Starfield. Like, where you can smoothly walk through a landscape, and you see a house on a hill somewhere, okay, like for example this house. You can walk up to the house, you might have a fight, you might have a quest, you might find some cool item on a shelf or on the table, you know what I mean? Like, a granular experience where anything can happen.
They damn well better be grateful. I swear.
Hey, Composite. Yeah, I thought I was playing something different today. Like, only played this half a year ago the first time. It was amazing back then. I just wish the climbing would be more involved. Like, so that sometimes you have to use the climbing features a bit more. Character's busted. I just walked over the mountain range. I mean, what other games are there right now to play? Wait, he was yelling at Zuckerberg. Yeah, I think that weird meta VR game. What I don't get about it, the graphics suck ass. Like, it looks like shit. Like, who's gonna play that? And Composite, like, the thing is about Death Stranding. You have to go to the menu, and there's like a setting where you can set your movement speed to, so when you walk instead of running, like, so it's like this slow, casual walk, instead of like this tight jog. Then you really slowly enjoy the walking through the landscape.
You made it.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
I think there's some great potential in VR. I haven't used it myself yet. For flight simulator games, it should be amazing to play with it. But I don't want to spend $1,000 right now for a VR set. Also, my graphics card probably couldn't handle it, so. I actually wonder if a player places some other
Let's
player's
all give
item.
Sam a hand. He's a real
Is it like
trooper.
from every other player in the
Well
game, or is it like randomly selecting them? Because if every player places an item or something, it's probably something else. The thing is about this furry stuff. I think that I saw like some YouTube clips of people in VR chat
Yeah, just like
sometimes
that.
going to really deep conversations about real world stuff. Like there was this U.S. soldier talking about some atrocities in the Iraq War, about his personal experience while wearing a furry costume in VR. That was disturbing. I think it's instancing some amount of it. And I would really wish there would be more necessity to actually use climbing items, because my favorite feature in this game is being able to place your own rappelling rope. It's so amazingly well animated, but you rarely ever have to use it. So they could make it like into like a real climbing game. I think that whole furry stuff is kind of weird. Like, I'm not gonna like judge somebody for having weird impulses. Like, the heart wants what the heart wants. Okay.
They
But-
damn well better be grateful.
Like I saw like this what was it? The YouTube video of was it some American TV hosts, like a blonde woman and her husband. They're both TV hosts, and she finds out the first time what furries are, like on a clip, and she basically breaks out in laughter and has to run out of the studio because she can't handle it.
Come on. Get those legs moving.
I mean, that whole furry thing, it's kind of weird to me because I think it's, my theory is it's some weird, like puberty is kicking in for a young person, and they watch like these normal furry cartoons, like about these anthropological animal, like humanoid animal characters. And I think something gets twisted into some sexual fantasy. And that's kind of the creepy part about it, because it's probably some mixed into it, and yeah, it's just weird.
Goddamn cottonmouth.
I mean, I watched cartoons too as a kid, but maybe I didn't watch that type of cartoon. And I watched like 80s cartoons, early 90s, and they were a lot more violent than what kid. I was too old for SpongeBob, okay? I watched SpongeBob or any Pokemon stuff. I had, if you know that, He-Man, that 80s stuff.
Gotta be someone else who can do this shit.
Remember that, what was it, Sonic the Hedgehog, when they, what was it? When they made that movie and they show like his teeth that look like human teeth. And everybody was creeped out by his human teeth. So they had to make it like more cartoony.
Well, better get it done.
I think I built that part of the road. Like at some point when I last played, it made it my mission to build as many road pieces over the mountain as I could. But I never completed it so far. Also not sure if the road pieces are only my road pieces or other player road pieces too. Also, what fascinates me about Death Stranding is that, like, they got away with cutting production value in certain areas where you don't notice it so much, because they focused in the right areas. Like, for example, they put a lot of work in the character movement, okay, and animation. Look at this. Also, the character animation. So this here, the latches. Every single latch is accounted for and has a reason to be there. Every single latch. You see that? Means they put an amazing amount of quality in the stuff you see in front of you. And however, notice that most cities in this game are just these holograms where you walk up to a character, he's a hologram, he talks to you, gives you a box, and you walk back out. So most locations in this game are indoors, are copy-pasted, which means they built this game with a fairly low budget, and it still looks like a high-class product, which it is, but, you know, like they maneuvered the low production value stuff out of the way so you don't notice it too much. And the other thing that's amazing is that most of the danger in this game comes from these weird things you can't even see, like the BTs. They could actually have made some weird werewolf animals or vampires chasing you, but They just went for these weird static things that almost you can't even see them getting animated, but you still feel them. And the whole backstory of the game supports them just being these weird ghostly things. Which means they got away with elegantly cutting out production value in certain areas without you actually noticing. Yeah, that's actually good. You say it much better than I just tried to explain in 3 minutes. Like, proper distribution of resources. Like, they apply the resource exactly where it's needed. So in areas where they cut them out, you don't notice that it's missing.
Give me a break.
Safe travels.
Hey! What?
Right, good.
Over here!
Is the hologram actually talking with me? What the fuck?
Anybody hear me? I hear you.
Wait, the hologram is actually talking to you. What the fuck? Yeah, there are features in this game like where you don't notice it. Also, have you noticed the special NPC in the game? Like Conan O'Brien is in the game too.
Anyone?
It sounds like other
I'm
players
Sam.
talking. I mean, it sounds like an actual player. It doesn't sound like a voice actor. Like, what the heck's going on here? Like, one of the characters, I think the cosplayer, is actually Conan O'Brien. Like, in case you noticed.
Hello! Anyone? Someone around?
Yeah, seriously, it sounds like a player's not voice actor. What the? It's actually creepy. The thing about the cameo, like he actually, I played the game, noticed it's Conan, but then later I watched like a Conan O'Brien special where he's like talking to Hideo Kojima before the game was released. And he actually shows him being in the game. And at the beginning of the video he says, thanks to my connections in the video gaming industry, and then the whole studio starts laughing. And he's like, it's not a joke, I actually have the connections. Like, and the whole studio was laughing and he actually said, no, that's not a joke, it's actually for real. And he's actually well connected to a lot of game studios, I think. And then they showed like a scene of him getting his face scanned for the game. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I had no idea why Mads Mikkelsen is even in this game. Because most of the scenes you just see his upper lip basically in the camera. Like, baby, where's my baby? Where's my baby? And then he's like smoking a cigarette with his gun holding it. Like this whole Mads Mikkelsen scene, like the combat scenes with him make no sense. It's just probably Hideo Kojima wanting some cool American guy with military gear smoking a cigarette looking cool. I think that's like some Metal Gear Solid stuff. Because I remember Metal Gear Solid, I never played it. But they had a lot of these weird campy cutscenes. It's like probably like a Japanese person imagines Western action movies. That's always how I felt it. And I think the whole Mads Mikkelsen thing, it's a bit superficial. No, is that a term, Western? I mean, notice this game has a certain weirdness. But generally, if you play Japanese games that are super successful, like Resident Evil, okay? Look at Resident Evil, for example. I never played the original game, but I saw somebody play it on PlayStation way back in the 90s. And the character names are kind of weird. Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine. That's if I was a Japanese porn producer who would make movies,
Get it together.
would make Western porn movies. That's the type of character name I would pick because it sounds cool. Like, who has the name Leon Kennedy? Like, what the fuck? Nobody has a name like that. I never played Metal Gear Solid, but I think they're great games because it made him enough money to make Death Stranding. And he could have just made a new Metal Gear Solid, but he went for this weird new setting, and I think it paid off. Actually, I have not. Like English gibberish. I also love when people with a heavy Japanese accent like speak English, like husband, we are homeless now. You know that meme? It's always that meme where the husband spends too much money on some stupid thing. You spent all the money on games. I actually tried to find the voice generator for that, so I could put it in a video, but I haven't found the free voice generator that does it. Like, try to make a meme for High Fleet, like, we are homeless now because you spent all the money on methane fuel. I mean, it fascinates me about this game. You just walk around, and most of the enemies are these weird things that just, basically from a game development perspective, the BTs are just things floating in the air and barely animated. But they hide them behind this weird pixel appearance, and the game lore supports them just being these wispy things in the air that you can barely see. And you create a successful game out of that. And another game developer who hadn't this much power, like if Hideo Kojima walks to a production studio and says, okay, I have this weird idea, give me money to make it, they probably say yes because he can deliver something great. But any other game developer who didn't have his stature and position would have probably not be allowed to make it like that.
Fuck this.
I think so. I only read about it after I played this game because I didn't know much about Hideo Kojima. But he was let go by not sure if he was kicked or if he left or some creative differences, whatever. And then he basically made his own studio.
God damn it, man.
And he banged out this game in like 3 years. And he could have made it a lot weirder and stayed with a more familiar concept and would have made a lot of money. But he went for this extra weird setting. Like, everything in this game is weird. Like, somebody who just earlier joined the chat asked me what this game is about. And I was like, okay, how do I explain that? And it could be the case. Maybe they told him he needs to make something with less money. That's understandable, but it's not like Star Citizen developers who basically keep lying to people and get nothing done. Like Kojima is actually a dude who can produce something on time. Because he probably will release Death Stranding 2 before Squadron 42 is out. If you know Squadron 42, it's a single-player version of Star Citizen, which has been in development for, I think, 11 years by now. And has made over 560 million by now. I mean, it could be either, but the good thing is
Bridges wants you.
they got rid of each other. Like, Konami got rid of him and he got rid of Konami, and Death Stranding was produced successfully, and Konami is doing whatever they're doing, so... You know what I mean? Like, it worked out for both sides, I think. It's better like that than him getting stuck on some Konami deal for the next 10 years and not getting anything done because they're constantly fighting. I mean, this game is legendary, like just for the sheer weirdness and how they pull it off. I just hope that Starfield isn't going to suck. Because then there's nothing left. If Starfield sucks, then we have to wait for the next Fallout and Elder Scrolls. And
Just you, yourself, and me.
if you want to convince people to play it, just like sit them down with the game, let them play like the first cutscene, which takes like I think an hour. Doesn't really help with explaining.
Believe in yourself.
I'm also looking for something new to find to play, like something that has a large audience where I can make videos out of it to like help the channel get bigger or something. Because for me it was like I made the hybrid videos, which were successful. I like to play it, but like there's a limited audience because it's a really small game, kind of player base. And then I found Sons of the Forest and had like good luck with one video. I got like 68,000 views in 2 days. That's like gigantic for me. Okay, so the problem is I couldn't repeat the success because the game itself, there's not much to it to make videos for me at least.
Yeah, just like that.
But I wonder if there's anything on the radar that's popular and that's coming out soon.
I need a drink.
Like I see a lot of big gaming channels where they basically just do gameplay. Okay, they play a game and they record themselves. Now my theory with that is that's something you have to build up over years, like by regularly playing. Which creates a problem for me because I'm not gonna just play a game over the years just to slowly see it build up. The problem is I eventually get bored of the same game all the time. Armored Core, is that like some console game? I think I heard the name somewhere, but I don't know what it is. And also tried like, I mean I'm still trying, some, what do you call it? Breakpoint, yeah, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I like to play it a lot, but so far it hasn't worked out for me in terms of making videos. Like, in terms of what I'm getting in terms of views, it's like way lower than other stuff. No, thanks, Fats. Wait, I don't get what's BPL.
Have faith.
Oh, you mentioned SnowRunner. You play SnowRunner a lot. I'm gonna link you something in the chat, 1 second. You might find it interesting. Just gotta open the link. 1 sec.
Don't know what these people would do without me.
Okay, 1 second now. Almost got the link. Where's it? Okay. So that's a link to a map for SnowRunner. In case you didn't know, I made 3 pretty large maps for that game, and that map I'm just linking, it actually won the mapping contest last year in April. So yeah, I'm quite familiar with SnowRunner. Like I know every tree and every rock in the mission editor for that thing. So yeah, if you click on my profile, you can see 2 other maps I made. Death Road to Medvedovsk and Shiraz. Like that's what I like to do. Like sometimes in my spare time is making like landscapes for these games. And basically, I put so much detail into the roads, like the mud, the depth of the mud, how wet the mud is. Then I sprinkled some leaves over it, some broken branches. Like yeah, I spent a lot of time in that game. Oh, see, my character just fell asleep. Oh wait, to get back to your comment, that's...
No one's home.
Hex of the BPL, the guy literally has his channel tanked. What does that mean? I don't get the context. Like, did he say something stupid that its channel got ruined, or...?
Okay.
So he got hacked? What happened then? Did somebody upload some weird video, or what happened?
Looks like a path.
And what was the demonetization about? Did he like post some stuff that YouTube didn't like? Sometimes I hear like these amazing stories about people I wouldn't hear about. Like some of the people hang out on Discord. They once told me the story about some legendary programmer dude who was also really weird in some ways. And then I read about this guy's life story, which I wouldn't have otherwise read about.
Nice.
Composite, I'm going to confirm what you just said. I'm just not gonna say the name because I'm not sure if YouTube is gonna trigger something weird if I talk about the guy. So you guys know who the guy is. So anyway, I was like, they're like this meme channel in the Discord, okay? And some of them is not really politically correct stuff. So anyway, and there was this picture of one guy making a photo, and he had like a picture of this particular programmer with some weird black circular symbol on it, which I had no idea what it actually meant in that context. Okay, so then they asked me, wait, you don't know who that guy is? And they showed me who the guy was, and he's like one of these crazy genius types that went astray. Apparently he has like this amazing skill. He made like his own compiler or something, and yeah, he was also batshit crazy in some way. And some of his videos you cannot like play out in polite conversation because of all the words that I used. And apparently he got hit by a train or something.
Yeah, this looks like the way to go.
So in some way, it's this weird tragic story about some genius who, I guess, went crazy at some point in his life. And in a different life or different reality, it would have probably just been something amazing.
Yeah, this is nice.
I don't know what Cruelty Squad is. Never heard of that game.
Have faith.
Let me tab out, ask what that game is. Also, if you're still playing SnowRunner, I recommend playing my newest map called Girask. I think you might like it. Cruelty Squad. Okay, that game looks really old. Like, Jesus, that game looks messed up. It looks like a dead graphics card having dreams or something.
Just you, yourself, and me.
I think I also watched like some true crime last night on YouTube. I think the channel's called 48 Hours or something. It's like some true crime series. And there was like this guy, apparently he goes out with a girl. Then the girl is found dead. And around the time she was found dead, he's like on camera going to Walmart at 4 a.m. in the morning buying shovels.
All you gotta do is put your life on the line, right?
Imagine you go into the cops and they have like videos of him where he's like, why are you buying a shovel at 4 a.m. in the morning? But is that Dadaism? Isn't that like some concept of a certain type of art or some weird thing? I think true crime is inherently appealing to watch because it has the randomness of real life in it. Like if you watch some crime movie, it always has like this predictable structure of what happens, what doesn't happen. But with true crime, you have this complete randomness in it sometimes. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, I love this. Notice it's acting like a hunting dog that's pointing to you to the prey. And like as you get closer, it does this pulsating motion where it's like repeating that animation. And the cool thing is they didn't just amplify it to the max as you get closer, because at some point you get so close to the enemies that thing just freaks out and starts making a different animation, like it's itself panicking from the presence of the enemies. Yeah, I'm completely avoiding philosophy as a concept. Like I'm avoiding it. If somebody like I consider philosophy like some hobby for people, but I don't take it serious like as a science or something. So like when I read about some philosophical concept in a book, I'm like immediately avoiding it. I don't want to know what it is about. Like it's just, I think it's like somebody else making up some weird stuff to sell books. And I don't want that to pollute the way I'm thinking. Like I'd rather see the world myself and figure out the way it works. I think it's like a, to me it reminds me like a dog, the way it's like pointing at danger for you. Like I don't want to offend anybody who's into philosophy, but for me it's like just some weird hobby. Like, and I think most philosophy was made by people who wanted to avoid having to work a normal job, so they invent some concept, make a book, and hope it sells. Like when people ask what is reality or what is thinking, or is this world even real? Yes, it is, because, well, physical reality, okay? Because physics or math, they actually have practical uses in the world, but philosophy is like, it's kind of weird. I think it's oddly tragic in this game that there's so many dead ocean animals like being presented in this game, like dead whales, dead fish, and all that. Huh. Getting agitated. Let's see if I get closer. As you know, it's starting to rotate. It's freaking out. Look at it. Also, you guys know what happens when you actually kill another NPC. Have you ever experienced that in the game? Yeah, I'm playing this currently on the hardest difficulty, I think. Playing this on very hard, yeah. The only thing that was difficult for me was like the boss fights. That was really difficult. Like the way it works in this game, you know, if you kill another person, then you have to get the body to a certain place so they get dissolved. If you don't do it, basically, you have to reload the game, because after some time, it triggers a void out, which is like that gigantic crater thing, and you have to reload again. And I actually found a way to dissolve them without having to go to the furnace. Basically, I went to like one of those tar pits. Basically walked in with the corpse and dropped it in the water and just sink, and then it disappeared. Yeah, basically, wait, I can turn the map. By the way, do you know this cool feature? Check this out. Yeah, basically, I killed 3 guys over here, or 5 guys, just to see what happens. Then the game keeps warning me after a few days, hey, void out, blah, blah, blah. I ignored it. Then suddenly, character says, hey, what the heck, another void out. Did I not take care of a corpse somewhere? And the game tells you to reload. And then I basically took him and I thought, maybe I can just drop him in the tar. Maybe that's going to work. Instead of going to the furnace over here somewhere. So I actually drove him up there and put him in the tar, and they sink and disappear. And then you don't get a void out. Feds, do you mean like an explanation for the whiteout or an explanation for the tar pit? Because I'm not sure how far you're into the game, so don't spoil anything. I'm not sure, because I'm having trouble tracking the conversation who play the game completely or not. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why. I just thought it might work. So because I knew from a previous mission where you have to like throw the little boxes into the tar pit in another pit down here somewhere. Yeah, so basically throwing them in the tar pit or in the furnace basically functions to delete the bodies. Oh, you have not played the game at all. Yeah, basically, without spoiling too much, the game is basically about, how do I explain it? It's, yeah, just like Composite explained it. Basically, if somebody dies, I'm not sure if it's a normal explosion. Basically, it creates a crater around the corpse where the death happened that can evaporate an entire city. So if somebody dies, they have to like get really far away from populated centers and dissolve the corpse in some way. And the beginning of the game actually gives you a cutscene that explains the concept. And the fun thing is, if you actually fight enemy NPCs, there's like camps with enemy NPCs, like they have these red boundaries. If you fight them and they knock you out, they never kill you. Basically, they knock you out, the screen goes black. Then you can hear them like carrying and dragging you out of the camp to the borders of the camp, and they drop you. And you wake up again. You have to like get your gear back from the camp. It's kind of the weird thing that it's like the world of the dead basically is bleeding into the world of the living. That's how I would explain it. But yeah, it's really cool that they actually don't kill you. They just, like, they get pissed off, they take your shit and throw you out of the camp. There's actually a camp nearby. Wait, where am I right now? Yeah, I'll try to provoke just a quick attack. Basically, the cool thing is, when you fight them, it's like fighting another caveman. There's something primal about it, because they're like just guys with the spears and that. And the music, when the combat starts, sounds like it's from a 1970s action movie. Okay, what just happened was that if you get into really high water, your safety thing goes on. Because the rain in this world, when you get hit by rain, you age much faster. So anything hit by the rain ages really fast. That's why you can't submerge yourself underwater. And when you have combat with NPCs, there's like something beautifully primal about it. It's like two cavemen locking eyes with each other. And as I mentioned, the music turns into some 1970s cowboy music, cowboy movie action music. Let me see. Just walk into the scene to provoke him. Also, you have this weird baby thing attached to you, which is even weirder to explain. Because they're basically detectors. Like, there's some grisly backstory which I don't want to spoil unless you really want to know it. Anyway, those babies, they can connect to the underworld or to the dead world. That's how you can spot certain dangers if the baby is attached to you.
Over and over again.
It's one of those weird games where they tried something completely weird and it still worked out. And it's somebody like Kojima doing it. This could have been some weird indie game by some garage developer. It wouldn't have looked like that. And people would probably say it's some weird Japanese type game, but Kojima made it and it actually works. Like, it's crazy. No, the baby is called BB. BT is something very different. BT are basically the ghosty monsters that can kill you. Like the way I would interpret the BTs are basically some type of ghosts. I would interpret them as. There's a really grisly scene at the beginning of the game where some guy gets the void-out is triggered, and some guy is about to get dragged into the sky or something, and he does a huge amount of effort trying to kill himself. That was really disturbing, and to this day I still don't understand why that is the case.
Well, us damn fools.
Composite, you probably remember the scene at the beginning where the other guy is driving with you and the void-out happens. And he's like trying to kill himself. And I don't know why he's trying that. And he also tries to kill himself, but I still don't understand why he's doing that. It just seems so disturbing that he's like so desperately trying to kill himself, like, which means there's something worse happening than him trying to kill himself. Okay, I think now I'm at the edges of the camp. Yep. I'm gonna see if I can provoke them into attacking me. Hear that music? That's like 1970s. See, now they spotted me. Something very hard, and they can actually hit you from a few hundred meters with that gun. That was a mistake. Come on. You actually cannot outrun them, but that's the crazy part. That was actually a kill shot, which means they actually kill the player. However, your character, when he dies, something different happens than normal people. Yeah, I should have ducked better. So I can't explain that scene what I just saw. I have no idea how to explain that, okay? So basically they kill you, but the player's like unique in this game world as that he can basically come back from death.
I'm done.
And if they actually don't kill you, if they attack you with stun weapons, the screen just goes black. You don't get the cutscene. You just hear how they drag you out of the camp and then drop you, and the screen goes white again. And the stuff that you carried with you, they stole it. So you have to sneak back in to get it. But the combat was beautiful animated, like the way you can punch him left, right, and all that. And wait, there's another feature that's really cool is carry by hand. It's one of my favorite features in this game. You can carry stuff left hand, right hand, okay? Like this. You can pick it up with any hand you want. And you can use the, any hand you want to stabilize your backpack. See, I'm using right mouse. See, oh, wait, man. So you can do this like left, right, both hands. And you can pick up something. Now the cool thing is, you can use it as a melee weapon, okay? So you can swing like that. And depending where you press the leading hand that's holding it, that's gonna be the point where you start throwing it, okay? So, now, come on, bro, catch your breath. Okay, so you grab it like this. So basically, there's like a player skill involved. At the angle of where you want it, where you swing the thing in your hand, you press let go with the hand, and then it flies in that direction. And I think that's an amazing implementation of a throwing minigame. And some missions in the game actually make use of that. So you have to throw like the cargo that you have, you can throw it into the top pit. So you're just sitting there, swing and throw. And it's gone. And that's, I think, the best implementation of a throwing minigame I've seen in the video game so far. Ah, they spotted me again. Damn it. Yeah, I think I'm also going to leave, I think in a minute or so, because it's getting late for me.
Talk about hitting the wall hard.
Yeah, Feds, if you haven't played this game, I think, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like, if they ping you like that, if you do it fast enough, you do a counter ping that cancels out their ping and they won't find you. Yeah, see if I find something to stream tomorrow. It's a bit different. I'm thinking of playing Shadows of Doubt, but unless they patch it, like
Don't slack off.
it's probably not going to be that interesting in the next few weeks.
Okay. Let's just sit here for a second.
Yeah, perhaps I should do that more. Like comment on the gameplay. Kind of fascinates me the way the games are built. Also, if you sit like this with your character for a long time, like they slowly fall asleep. And the music is absolutely beautiful when you sleep like that. And there's further detail. If you actually do that in the snow, like if you fall asleep in the snow, your character can actually die from it because it's hypothermia. I had this once, my character was like sitting on the snow, and I'm like, just went to get a drink, came back, the game reloaded after death. I'm like, what the heck? Look at that detail. Yeah, I gotta find the music and the soundtracks and listen to it sometimes. Just the sleeping music is amazing. Actually, I think it's quite nice if you're so tired physically that you can just fall asleep quickly. That's actually nice. Yeah, sometimes just being able to be tired and just fall asleep, it's actually
Just a little longer.
that's actually quite nice sometimes. Okay, so I'll probably log off right now. It's getting really late. Okay then, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.